the kids who sit a bit outside the mix, who maybe cope through humor just to fit in for a bit, who never let the world know when depression's setting in. To all of those who know you, that impression don't exist, and it ain't counterfeit, it's just a way to counter it. I'm living things I dreamed about, I still encounter it. It ain't something that a cigarette or alcohol can fix, but all because of it, I flipped it quick, went on to write some hits. This a success off another breath. This the first step in searching to be nothing less than be the best in what you do to prove their strength in being you. Learn so much in chasing dreams that I never would in school. Depends on where your passion lie, just no passion never lie. Life presents distractions, but your actions have to fortify the things that you believe in. Have to scream it like a battle cry and leave the ones who didn't looking stupid while they're asking why. Couldn't lie, I really do this for the ones I love. Those who treat the music as a vice and lyrics like a drug. Those who need advice on how to lift their spirit high enough to break out of the box. They make up lives they know aren't good enough. Just because it's how it is don't mean it's how it has to be. This is what the uninspired testifiers fail to see. Jealousy results from being that which others failed to be, and if it means you're not with me, that honestly sounds fair to me.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
Do this for my mother, she'll be working for the summer. Do this for my father, cause these days I often wonder what my life would have been like if I was not adopted. To grow up in a home where I was treated like a problem. I don't know, it's just a guess. Your guess probably good as mine. Lucky that I grew up in a home that wanted me to shine. Lucky that I grew up round some mountains we were taught to climb. Without that inspiration, I don't think that this would be my life. Do this for my friends who've scattered all across the country now. I'm out in Sweden walking back through life so I can write it down. Make a living off the sound, so crazy to say out loud. I'm the biggest thing since Travis Rice to come up out the town. Sorry, gotta stunt a little. Used to have my dreams belittled, but it's all a part of it. I know people's minds are fickle, lines between reality and dreams I blur like faded nights. Come up been so good for me, I wish that I could make it twice.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
I do this for you, Pops. What's up, man? Shout out to you. Hey, guys, thanks for being here tonight. Sorry for some of the technical difficulties. It's a one-man show, and I got a lot of things going on. Obviously, live streaming currently on TikTok, live streaming on YouTube, and then on the Discord for my MVPs. That's the way it works. The MVPs have priority. If they write a comment, I will be getting to their comments first. Then we'll go to YouTube. If you're on TikTok watching me, I don't take your comments. Thank you for watching, but you got to move over to YouTube or the Discord. So, with that being said, here's how the show works, the format. If I run out of questions, comments to read and answer, the show's over. That's it. So you got about 30 minutes, 10, 15, 20 minutes to load up all your questions and comments. Now, questions and comments can be about any games today, can be about the college football games, or the teams within the Big Ten and the MAC. That is the topics for today, the Big Ten and the MAC, period. Okay? Any other comments, you got to wait for those days. We also talk about whatever's trending in the world of sports, so there's that. Hope we get started, and hope I answer your questions to the best of my ability. If I miss it, if I'm wrong, I apologize. If you want to see my face in the right corner and you're watching through Discord, all you got to do is go to YouTube and watch the live stream there. Make sure you thumb it up if you're on YouTube, and we can go from there. So, once again, MAC and Big Ten. MAC and Big Ten. Let's see what's up. First thing I want to talk about, Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz gets signed by the Rams. If you didn't know, Matt Stafford got injured. They need to replace, they need to find a backup. They have Mark Rippon, Mark Rippon's nephew. My bad. You guys know Mark Rippon? Maybe you guys don't. I don't know. Babe, you know who Mark Rippon is? Yes. She does. My girl knows who Mark Rippon is. The rest of you don't. You rookies. Nonetheless, Super Bowl championship quarterback for the Redskins the last time they won a Super Bowl. In case we were wondering which teams haven't won a Super Bowl in a long time, put the Redskins and 49ers on that list. They've been there. They've been doing this longer and haven't won a Super Bowl since, before the Cowboys. Everybody always rips the Cowboys for not winning Super Bowls or haven't been to the Super Bowl since 95. How about the Redskins and the 49ers? 49ers is 94 since they last won a Super Bowl, and Redskins were 1991. 1 year before the Cowboys won in 1992. Anyways, that was Mark Rippon, the starting quarterback. His son, or his nephew, Brett Rippon, starting quarterback out of Boise, is now replacing Matthew Stafford for the Rams. They need other quarterbacks, so they go sign Carson Wentz. How do I feel about Carson Wentz? Well, I'll tell you how I feel about him. He's not very good. This is a man who does too much. He just doesn't know when to take a sack or throw it away. He once sprained both ankles on one football play. I want you to think about that. Not skydiving, not bungee jumping, not jumping off the balcony to save a drowning child. Shout out to Josh Shaw. But if you don't know that story, you don't know that reference, my bad. But this guy once twisted and sprained both ankles on the same play. I don't know how you do that. I just don't know how you do it. But Carson Wentz did it. So now he's a Ram. Congratulations. I don't know how he got back in the NFL, but he's here. Speaking of how the hell did you get back in the NFL, I made a video about this the other day telling you Blake Martinez is back in the NFL. He was trying out for the Panthers. They tried him out. They got to be desperate. They got to be desperate to sign Blake Martinez's bum ass. Like, Blake Martinez is I'm sorry, you got to mute yourself. I didn't know you had talking privileges there. Broad, my bad. Nonetheless, Blake Martinez should not be in the NFL. If you guys don't know, Blake Martinez, former Stanford guy, he's able to go out there and do his thing, and he was a good linebacker. He's a good-looking dude as well. Pause. He's a good linebacker, and he decides to retire from the NFL and go sell Pokemon cards. And word was he's making $5 million a year selling Pokemon cards. Pretty damn good living, right? Problem is he started doing this scam online where you break open packs and you have to match the energy card in every pack. I don't know much about Pokemon, but I can tell you this. You open up the pack, the energy card is random, and if you opened up enough packs, you would have two of the same kind of energy, and then you'd win the prize. So you'd open a pack, then you'd open another one, then you'd open another one, and if you kept paying to open one, eventually you'd match the energy of the one you opened. Now, what they didn't know was these packs had already been opened. They knew what was in each pack, and then they sealed them. They resealed them so they knew how not to lose. And it was like the three-card Monty. Have you guys ever seen three-card Monty when they're doing those things and they're moving the ball or the card back and forth? You think you're about to pick the winning card, and you know you got it right, and then somebody from the left just comes out and outbids you, and then the guy with the cards goes, oh, I got to take his bid, bro. He just paid $200 to flip that card, and you're only paying $60. So they don't take your bid. They take that guy, and he wins. Well, it turns out that guy's in on it as well. Anytime somebody won those packs, it was a friend or an employee of Martinez, they were ripping people off. They're banned for life, and he had to come back to football after ripping off Pokemon people. It's ridiculous. And all those people who are opening up packs of cards right now on TikTok Live, I don't like none of you because I think you're all scammers. By the way, people think I'm a scammer. People think I'm scamming on these picks, bro. If I was scamming, I'd be hitting a lot more. I'd be out here doing something. I'd be doing some magic somewhere. Hey, that was a pun on there. Shout out to Magic the Gathering. Hey, I did that smooth. Y'all didn't catch that. Nonetheless, the Panthers are so desperate, they went and signed Blake Martinez. Whatever. I don't think this guy should be employed, ripping people off. I feel bittersweet about this one. I made a video on this on TikTok. If you guys didn't hear the news, MJ Morris, either he was going to lose his starting position and move back to the bench, or he just decided, I don't need to be the quarterback anymore. Pretty damn nuts. You go 3-4 as a starter. You beat Clemson. You beat Miami. And now you're redshirting the rest of the year. You don't want to play anymore. You want to save your eligibility. If you guys didn't know, he played in like 5 or 6 games last year, so he burned his red shirt last year. Right? He used his freshman eligibility last season. Then this season, he decided, hey, I don't want to do it. I'm out. Now the rumor is he's going to go to Auburn. The rumor is he's got connections down in Alabama. This is a kid who's probably going to go start at Auburn. But you finally get the chance to start. They go and bench Armstrong for you. You get the starting job at your university. You win 3 out of the next 4 games. And then you quit on your team? Man, NIL money talks, guys. If there was ever anything you wanted to do in life as a quarterback, it was start for your team and win games. And let me tell you, he's not the reason they win, but he is the starter when they win. The defense, I've talked about the defense ad nauseum every single time we talk MVPs. Anytime I give you guys analysis on NC State games, I tell you about MJ Morris. I tell you about that defense, and then Morris goes out there and stinks it up. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. He's going to quit on the team, and then they tell you, the coach says, well, he just wants to save his eligibility and keep developing himself. Yeah, buddy, sure thing. He was working out with the scout team today at practice, and Armstrong was with the ones. So Armstrong's back. Armstrong's not hapless. He can run the ball. He can do things. Armstrong's fine. But come on. That's ridiculous. I can't even understand it. I don't know what's going to happen here. They're trying to tell me he's not leaving the program. He's leaving the program. He's going to practice to stay in shape, to stay sharp mentally and physically, but he's leaving the program. I'd be utterly shocked if he didn't enter the transfer portal. Utterly shocked. So MJ Morris. Hey, speaking of the transfer portal, I usually don't do transfer portal updates, but I went and pulled it up. Now, this isn't the official portal. If you guys didn't know, the transfer portal is not publicly accessible. The transfer portal is a private entity. Only universities, employees, right, coaches and whatnot, admissions offices, and the players can see or have access to the portal. So I'd have to reach out to certain coaches and certain staff members to talk about the portal. Sometimes I'll tell you guys the players in the portal, and there's no news of it anywhere. I do this often, and you guys go, oh, how do you know? Where'd you read this? This isn't official. This is all a rumor. No, it's not. I got it in my DMs from somebody who has access to the portal. But let's talk about this portal, okay? When you look at this portal and you see what's going on with 24/7 Sports, Eric McAllister jumps in the portal midweek. This is the leading receiver at Boise State, 6'4", 200 pounds. They're telling me he's going to Washington. They're telling me he's going to Washington State. He's going to the Pac-12, the Big Ten, whatever you want to call it. They're telling me he's going to go play down in Texas. All the rumors, but we know this. He's a Power 5 talent. Complete stud. Leading receiver in the Mountain West, first team All-Mountain West, and you quit on your team right now. You quit on your boys. And I know what it is. He had 18 targets last game. He got tired of running routes and not getting the ball thrown to him. 18 targets and only 8 receptions, or 8 or 9 receptions. I know it sounds like a good amount of receptions, but 18 routes, 18 targets, they're missing. And it's because they changed quarterbacks. It's not Taylor Green anymore. They got a new guy to throw, and Taylor Green's his best friend. Taylor, they're both from Texas. Please stop. Sorry, my dog's jumping on me. So you get upset. Now, what that tells me, guys, first off, head coach Andy Avalos, the wheels are falling off. You're losing your best receiver in the middle of the season. You're 4-5. They don't want to play for anything. That's crazy. You can still make a bowl game. Don't care. It's about NIL again. And now you got Genty and Taylor Green, all Texas kids, all hitting the portal. All the Boise State players are hitting the portal at the end of this season. Genty's leaving. He's going to go get a big payday. We'll end up at Ole Miss. Genty's leaving. McAllister's leaving. Green is leaving. Trust. Oh, and by the way, Andy Avalos, got to fire him. You got to get fired, man. There's something wrong over there. Everything's falling apart. It looks bad. Remember, they had a catastrophic meltdown. They were up 30-10 just 2 weeks ago. Up 30-10 with 6 minutes left, and they lose the game. That was it, bro. They lost the game and their season and their locker room and their star players. When you start looking at the rest of this, though, look at Coastal Carolina. They're having a terrible season. And I knew they would. They hired Tim Beck, former offensive coordinator from NC State. If you guys don't remember, I didn't care that Tim Beck was coming to coach them. Remember this. In the preseason, people were telling me Coastal Carolina is a dark horse to beat UCLA in week 1. Oh, Rico, they're going to beat UCLA in week 1. I got a feeling. Grayson McCall. And I looked at you guys and I said, what are you talking about? They're losing Jamie Chadwell. They lost Josiah Stewart to Michigan. They lost Willie Lampkin to North Carolina. They're starting center. It's crazy. You know, and so when you see a team not do well, they're struggling everywhere, and then you start seeing these players enter the portal. Jamar Brown, this is a former South Carolina kid. He was a South Carolina safety, and he played in games. He was a stud. He hasn't played this year. Jumped in the portal. He's gone. Donnell Wilson, offensive tackle, started 13 games last year. Hasn't played in a single game this year. Gone. That's crazy. Trey Pickney, I'm just going to go down the line to the other Coastal Carolina player. Trey Pickney kind of overvalued himself, if you ask me. Overvalued himself. He's from Georgia, Pebblebrook High School. I watched him play in high school, but that's a JUCO kid, straight out of Hutchinson. So academic issues are probably there. I'm just letting you know. But he used to play, and he doesn't play anymore. Jumped in the portal. I don't know why J.R. Walker's here. J.R. Walker, he hasn't been on the team at Virginia Tech since like March. I guess he finally entered the portal, but he hasn't been on the team since March. Let me go back up here. James Burns, UConn. This is funny. James Burns, he played 3 years at Miami of Ohio first, okay, as a wide receiver. He did some okay stats and stuff. And then he transferred to Austin Peay, teamed up with Dre McCray and the boys. They were crushing it at Austin Peay. 2 good receivers. He's a little guy. He's like 5'8", 170. And he decides to go to UConn. UConn needed wide receivers. Gordon left. Carter, who was it? What's his name? Aaron Gordon? And they had another guy leave. They had two good receivers leave. And so now you got James Burns. Goes to UConn, only 2 receptions so far in 7 games. Decides to get in the portal. He's got 1 year of eligibility left. Little guy's going to be in there for a little bit. We'll see where he wants to go. I think he needs to go back down to the FCS level. These guys think they're NFL players. They're not. Ryan Johnson, shout out to him, graduate transfer, leaving Akron. He actually played last year, defensive tackle. Defensive, I guess, tackle and whatever you want to call it. He's a tweener in size. But he's from Mississippi. He's already got 2 offers right now. He's got an offer at Southern Miss and Jackson State. So he's got 2 offers, one from Jackson State, one from Southern Miss. I know he wants to go back home, so he's obviously getting offers close to home. And then I'll go down to Shabazz, and we'll stop right there. So Shabazz, his older brother, used to play at West Virginia. Something's up with him as well. Like, the 2 of these guys, they just misevaluate their talent. Like, I get it. You grew up in Georgia. You play, I think he plays at Harrison, or he played at Harrison in high school. But, like, you want to be a star. You want to play in the SEC. But you're 0 stars. You're not good enough, man. So you go walk on at South Carolina. You're nothing. You walk on good. You're wasting time. Could have went to Kennesaw State. And you'd be in the FBS and you'd be playing. Could have went to Kennesaw State. That simple. But here we are. You're not ever seeing the field, so now you're in the portal. Wasted your first year red shirt and wasting this year. Just doesn't make sense to me. That whole movement there doesn't make sense. Well, that's the portal. Those are your updates. And then I'll take a look here. Tonight, we got 3 games of action. Hey, I want to give you guys a heads up and a warning. I finally have my sleep study scheduled for tomorrow. So I'll be in the hospital overnight tomorrow doing no watch party. I might be on Discord talking to you guys, but no watch party. I'll make the videos in the morning, post them. But in the evening, I'll do my show. I'll do the Big 12 and the American Conference. And then I got to go to the hospital on base, and they want me to spend the night there. They just got to test me for some stuff. So I was supposed to do it last month. They rescheduled me for Wednesday. So just a little TMI. I don't care. I'm very transparent with you guys. So no watch party tomorrow. But tonight we have 3 MAC games. We're going to be watching all 3 at once, doing the live stream. I'm extremely excited. I broke all 3 of these games down on Patreon for the MVPs. They got their 3 videos. I sent about 9 parlays for all this so you guys can do your own thing. It's an amazing thing when MVPs start getting crafty with their bets and their parlays and their spreads and their alternate yards and all that they do. You guys just start cooking. I just see you all in the kitchen doing what you do and posting your screenshots. It's pretty damn cool. I really like it. So tonight we'll be watching games all night, but tomorrow I'm going to take the night off, and then I'll be back for Thursday. We'll be doing the live stream and the watch party for Virginia and Louisville, and then obviously Friday. Very excited for both those games. Expecting North Texas and SMU to go out there and score a ton of points, and expecting Wyoming and UNLV to show us what running backs look like. Here's the problem. Friday, take your nap, y'all. The games don't start till 9 and 10:45 p.m. Eastern. Like, this is going to be ridiculously late. It's a Friday night. This is the nightclub for me. I get excited for this right here. But we don't start the watch party till 9 p.m. You know it's going to be a long one. Hang in there, all you old dudes, putting in your bets and going to bed. Stop betting on stuff you're not watching. A lot of you guys gamble on things you don't even watch. I know it. I see everybody tailing flips Korean baseball bets. It drives me insane. Let's talk about the MAC here. So we'll start with the MAC this week. We already talked about it. They got 3 games tonight. Ball State at Northern Illinois, probably the most boring game tonight. I'm not excited about it. Central Michigan, Western Michigan, I'm ready for that. I expect to see some high-flying offense and very poor defense. And then Ohio and Buffalo, the complete inverse. I don't expect to see much offense, but the defense will be on point, and they'll be smashing each other's faces in. Pause. Then we got Wednesday. The rest of the conference plays tomorrow. Akron at Miami of Ohio. I'm going to be breaking down these games on Patreon for the MVPs. All I can tell you is Miami of Ohio is the best team in the MAC. They prove it week in and week out. Kent State is the worst team in America. They prove it week in and week out. And Toledo, we don't like Toledo. We don't bet on Toledo. F Toledo. I was going to say they have bad water, but that's Flint. We still don't like Toledo, just so we're clear. Then we got the Big Ten. Week 11, Big Ten. We got Michigan at Penn State. Everybody wants to talk about it. Is Michigan in trouble? Is Michigan in trouble? Well, sources, I'm going to say sources. People in my DMs, and the people in my DMs, I want to be clear. When I get people in my DMs, especially for like Michigan, Michigan State, it's administrators from the university giving me a heads up. It's really cool. I talk to Kim about it all the time, and I show her the screenshots. It'll be like somebody that's a part of the board of directors or what was it called? The board of trustees. Yeah, board of trustees. They just write BOT, the bots. The board of trustees will reach out to me in DMs and they say, listen, Rico, we just want to get the narrative out there. If you can help us with this, make a video about this and tell the truth because the news services aren't and we know you can get it out. So I'm like, all right, well, give me the details. That's all I say. Hey, first and foremost, who the hell are you? You're a source. I need to know who you are, and I want to see your LinkedIn page. I kid you not. They send me their LinkedIn. I do some research, whether or not I can trust them, and then they give me their data. So, for Michigan, I got a DM today, another board of trustee, another, a faculty member, letting me know, gave me a heads up, we're not going to face punishment. Now, that's the gist of it, the feeling they get. The university's not going to face punishment. But what they're very clear is they don't know what the university's going to do to self-impose punishment. Right? Remember, there's this entity up here not going to punish the university, but you might get other punishment at different echelons. That's cool. I told them I'll just wait. I don't need to beat everybody to the punch. I'll wait till it's official and I see something in writing. So as of right now, Michigan has until Wednesday to rebuttal the letter sent by the NCAA. Once they rebuttal that, then we'll know what trouble they're in or what ramifications there are. But what we do know is in the investigation, Coach Harbaugh was not identified as having known about Connor Stallion's activities. So that looks very favorable for Coach Harbaugh and Michigan. There might be some type of sanction, some type of reprimand. But outside of that, I can't foresee the drastic measures people are envisioning or talking about or drawing up. That I know Ohio State fans would love for them to be exempt. It's not going to happen from postseason play. So anyways, I don't really care what happens on Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. I can just tell you Saturday. I think Michigan's a better team than Penn State. That's it. Money line, on the line, on the field, Michigan's better than Penn State. I'm not going to talk about spreads because this is an MVP level lock. It's on our lock list, but I can just tell you that I think Michigan's a better team. Indiana, Illinois, I'm ready to jump on the Indiana bandwagon. I'm ready to defend Indiana's pass defense. Indiana has legit pass defense, so I'm ready to believe in them against Illinois. Maryland at Nebraska. I need to make sure these aren't on my lock list before I talk about them. Give me a second. These are two teams falling apart right now. I told you Maryland's falling apart, and Nebraska's definitely dealing with injuries. But at least they haven't lost their locker room. I think Maryland's lost their locker room. I really do. Tyrese Chambers, transfer, leading receiver from FIU, transferred in. He's off the team. I don't know what that's about. But I know you got a co-offensive coordinator getting DUIs. I know you're losing games to Northwestern. I can't get down with Maryland and where they're at right now, mentally, physically, emotionally. And Nebraska, I think they're still all in it, man. I think they believe in Matt Rule and what he's doing. He's a good coach. Keeping their ship afloat. It's at home. I don't know. Feel some type of way about Nebraska. Yes, Maryland's a much better team. More talented all the way around. But you can't win when you're not all in, right? You can't win when you're not all in. Rutgers at Iowa. I don't know how Iowa scores against anybody, bro. Their offense is gross. I like Rutgers. I don't know the spread on this game. Let me open it and check. Because it's never on my FanDuel because they don't have a helmet for Rutgers. So I got to talk about it off the books. Oh, they got Iowa favored by 1.5, and the over-under is 28.5. Yeah, defense is really good in this game, and Gavin Wimsatt is really bad. So 28.5, my goodness. My goodness, that's so low. You got to take it. You got to take the under. You got to believe that 10 points, 12 to 10, something like that. 7-0. Oh, it's going to be gross. It's going to be gross. I'd love to watch it. Love to watch it and just cheer for nothing. Cheer for punts back and forth. Ugh. Minnesota, Purdue. I think Minnesota's got the run game to run over Purdue's trenches. Purdue cannot get anything going in their front seven on defense, on their linemen. It just doesn't look good. I like Minnesota to win that game. Northwestern at Wisconsin. Man, Northwestern's coming on, man. They really like their coach, Brom. They really like what they're doing. Northwestern looks good and competitive. And on the flip side, Wisconsin. Braden Locke is not him. He's injured, or he's just not good. Who's the other kid that came in? Oh, no, that was Mississippi State. My bad. There is no hope for Wisconsin. They're not doing as well as anticipated. I was hoping they won 11 games this year. Not going to happen, and that's unfortunate. Michigan State's really bad. Ohio State should look like they solved everything, but hopefully Ohio State keeps it simple and don't try to put too much on film. You don't want people to steal your signals and what you're doing, but I like Ohio State to win. I don't know what the spread are for these games. It's just how I feel about them. So now I've broken down the games, or at least I've talked about these teams. I'm going to take your guys' questions. So I'm going to start with Discord. If you have any questions about the Big Ten or the MAC, get them in now. Same with YouTube. Once I'm done with the questions in the comments, the show's over. And then we're just going to get ready for the watch party tonight. I don't mind a short show at all, just so we're clear. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate everybody watching. Let's go. First comments. My bad. Only losers buy Pokemon cards. I don't necessarily know if losers buy Pokemon cards, but I will tell you that I've been exposed to the gaming community of card games. And there's a store where I live. It's called Cardboard Castle. And I can tell you that not a lot of productive human beings collect cards for a living or play card games. They don't have their priorities straight, right? These people look like they didn't shower. They look disheveled. They do drugs. One guy, stop it. One guy got arrested for being with an underage girl. Just a lot of bad things going on. And I just thought to myself one day, what am I doing in here? I was hanging out with a buddy of mine. And I said, man, I would never cross these people's paths in my life. This place is enabling these people to come across my path. And they probably aren't of the echelon that I'm at. It's kind of like TikTok. There are so many people on TikTok that write me comments and say negative things to me. And we are in different echelons of intellect and social stature and notoriety and accomplishment that I would never meet these people in real life, and we would never cross paths. So it enables them, it's a vector for them to get into my path in my life, and I remind myself of that often because I can't let them impact my mood, impact my success levels, or what I equate to success. I just can't let them get me down, so I just keep it moving. But my goodness, it's the same concept. So maybe only losers buy Pokemon cards. I would say only losers show up to my videos and spam the same question over and over and over. I get that every day. Every video I write. For the next week, every video I write will say, how is CJ Stroud? For the next week. And then they'll all go away because their attention span is that of a gnat. And then I'll see them in another week and it'll be some other comment. And that's just the nature of the beast. It's just children getting to talk out of turn. So it is what it is. If Harbaugh is suspended for Saturday, which way does that move the line? Which way does it move the line? Unstupid. I have no idea how that impacts the line. I know that Michigan can play well without Harbaugh. He doesn't play on Saturdays. He just coaches. And I don't think any coaching he does on Saturdays really matters. Let me make that clear. Let me not just gloss over that. I think Coach Harbaugh is such a good coach, but I think he wins the majority of his games in the offseason. I think it's in development. It's in commitment to the program, in recruiting. It's in strength and conditioning programs. It's in football IQ. All of that is in the offseason. He is not struggling or having to make decisions on the field that are pivotal to the game's outcome for the most part. And I don't think it's going to be required in a game against Penn State. How about that? That's how I feel about it. Like, I really do. I feel like Michigan's the better team. And that's that. So I don't think it impacts the line all that much. If it does impact the line, well, go get your money. Don't buy into the hype. The players are still on the field. Still the same dudes out there dominating every day, and it don't matter. You have to find a moron to buy the trash. I don't know what that means. Richard, I don't know what that means. It's not hard. There's a huge market for cards. I've had them since I was a kid. Just took care of them and then got them graded. Yeah, Prod Self, and that's a whole nother market. That's a whole nother market, and I'm aware of it. Let me tell you how I got into cards. I'm not a nerd like in that regard. I've always played video games, but I never really played cards. I do play cards with my kids right now. I play a deck building game with them. It's called Marvel, and I have it like in a box with like different expansions to it. We've sleeved it all up, so it looks a little nerdy. Yep, it's a couple $100, and we play it every time we see each other. We play it for hours on end. We'll be in a hotel room, right, sweetie? Just playing that game with my kids. It's a bonding thing for us, kind of like any tradition you have. We play this card game. But for me to learn about the game and go buy it, I had to go to a card shop. But I was an instructor in the Army. I was a staff sergeant, and I think this was before 2010, maybe 2011, 10 timeframe. And I went to work. Back then, we were pumping out soldiers to go to war. We were doing classes 24/7. We were AIT instructors, Advanced Individual Training Instructors. So after you finish basic training, you go to AIT. And our AIT is 52 weeks long because we're electronic engineers. When you get done with our AIT, you had an associate's degree in electronic engineering, and then you can go pursue your bachelor's. But we were teaching these kids in 2-week blocks, in 2-week segments, and I apologize for my dog chewing on a chew toy. But we were teaching this block, and I was teaching a block where I was teaching them something we call maintenance systems. And I was teaching them System Maintenance Division, SMD. And as I was teaching these kids at midnight one night, I would give them these bugs. I would break the system and then tell them, go fix it. I would just go in there and break the system, tell them, go fix it, over and over and over. And it would be simple stuff. Think of yourself as a network administrator, and you're having to figure out who unplugged the cable, which port is open, what is misconfigured, was there a typo. A number of things could be done wrong, and these little geniuses would have to go in there and find what was wrong. And as I'm quizzing them like this, and they get 30 minutes to find the error, and they have to go through troubleshooting steps and look at block diagrams and schematics and all this stuff. But as I was doing this one night at 2 in the morning, I came across these kids playing Magic. And I said, what the hell are you guys doing? And they just got scared, and they got nervous because they're, I'm a staff sergeant, they're privates. And I took the Magic cards. Can you take that ball from her, sweetie, please? Yeah. And I took the Magic cards away from them. I had no idea they were worth anything. I just took all of them and said, they're mine now. You shouldn't have brought them to work. Because they were acting like kids, and this is a job, and this is work, and we're getting ready to go to war. So took away the cards, threw them in my desk, and kept them in my desk for a year. And as I was cleaning out my desk, I went to go get those cards, and I wanted to throw them away, and somebody stopped me and said, Rico, that's a lot of cards. Those are worth money. I said, no way. They said, yeah, go to the card shop and try to trade them in. So I went to the card shop, gave them all the cards. Homie told me, come back tomorrow. I'll give you a price list, and I'll give you your inventory sheet, and I'll tell you what I'll offer you for the collection. I didn't give a shit what he said. I trusted him and just left. Came back the next day, and he offered me $320 in store credit. What the hell is store credit, and what do I want in this store? So I ended up buying that deck building game, those cards, and I ended up learning about a different game, like a board game for my kids and I. I didn't want to play Pokemon or Magic or any of that stuff, but I learned all about that culture for the next couple of months while I was going to that store trying to figure out what I was going to buy for $300-something. And it only bought me 3 board games because they're overpriced. So anyways, enough of that nonsense. Sorry for that. As a Penn State fan, I'm not sure how the line is so close. Shout out to you, Isaac. It is what it is. Afternoon top, let's get it. Hope all is well, my friend. All is well, JP. Thank you for reaching out. I'm going to go to YouTube and start taking the questions here. Shout out to T for being here and everybody on YouTube. T says, what's up, Rico? Who do you think is the best quarterback in the Big Ten? Let's do this. Instead of me just yelling out a name, we can go into season leaders. I'll pull it up on the screen here. And you can go to, by conference, go to the Big Ten, and you can look at offensive leaders. And when you look, what I'll tell you is the quarterback play in the Big Ten is some of the worst in America. It really is. It's just bad. So when you look at it, the most successful quarterback or the one that you trust with the ball in his hand every single play has to be J.J. McCarthy. It just has to. And I don't think J.J. McCarthy's the best quarterback in the Big Ten. But when you look at this, there's a lot to be desired here. If I was to tell you who I think is going to be the best pro out of everybody, it's going to sound crazy, but I think it's Hudson Card. I think Hudson Card has the right traits to be a professional quarterback. I think he takes care of the ball. He's athletic. He just needs a much better team around him. But when I watch film and tape, I like Hudson Card as a quarterback. Some of these other guys leave a lot to be desired. I don't think they could start at other schools. Hudson Card, to me, is a good quarterback. So in the Big Ten, I would say Hudson Card is the best quarterback. And I know that sounds crazy because he's at Purdue and they're losing all their games. But Hudson Card is the best quarterback to me. He has no help. He's out there scrambling and doing what he needs to do. But I like Hudson Card a lot more than these other guys. But shout out to J.J. McCarthy for probably being the cream of the crop because you're on a winning team. You only have to throw it sparingly. You're going to complete 75% of your passes, no interceptions, right? It's going to look great. Another guy that is absolutely terrible is Drew Aller. Don't ever tell me Drew Aller is good. I spent all summer, and anytime a Penn State fan walked in here and said, Rico, Drew Aller is him, 5-star, #1 quarterback, I told you, he never beat out Sean Clifford. He is not a good quarterback. He's not an alpha male. This guy can't do shit with the ball in his hand, and he's proven it week in and week out. He is not good. He is a liability. Penn State is winning in spite of Drew Aller. Don't believe the stats. Go watch the film. He does not pass the eyeball test at all. I don't give a shit about a recruiting website or how many stars they gave him. Drew Aller is not good. Not good. No clutch gene for Tua up here. Tagovailoa, Taluia, whatever his name is. No clutch gene. Can't stand it. Kyle McCord's proved nothing to me. Luke Altmaier is a turnover machine. Aitken is too young to do anything worth talking about. Gavin Wimsatt is not a quarterback. This is a 4-star kid. Never earned his job. I love Tanner Mordecai. He's athletic. He's gutsy. I like Tanner Mordecai, but he's injury prone. Okay, he's hurt. He's out. Noah Kim never impressed me. Heinrich's a tough dude, not a quarterback. Ben Bryant's very mid. Taven Jackson's probably pretty good when he's healthy. I like him. I think he's got a future. But 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, you got to sit him down and let Sorsby play. Sorsby's playing. He's maximizing his athletic talent, whatever he has. Never been impressed with Braden Locke up to this point. Sullivan's not worth talking about. Hauser, nope. Don't believe in him. Don't believe in either Iowa kid, no matter what. Shout out to John Paddock, the Ball State quarterback who came off the bench and threw a damn touchdown to win the game this week. That's a kid who been starting at Ball State. Jeff Sims, one of the worst turnover-prone quarterbacks out there. Devin Brown, never impressed me at all. Never watched Levitt play more than his film. Tuttle, everybody was excited about this transfer move, and I was like, guys, he couldn't start at Indiana. What are we talking about? Never been moved by Tuttle. Helinski, shout out to him, R.I.P. I think his brother died, right? Don't know Bo that well. Not impressed. No. Alante Brown, that's a wide receiver. I'm like, what? That's a transfer from Nebraska, I think. Where'd he transfer from? Watch this. Where'd you transfer from, Alante Brown? Miami or Nebraska? Nebraska! Get at me, bro. I can just name a random dude and get it right. Evan Simon, never. If you can't start over Gavin Wimsatt, I don't want to know who you are and what you are. I'm just keeping it real. So these are all the quarterbacks in the Big Ten, and it's bad. Big Ten quarterback is bad. The worst. Power 5 conference? Worst quarterbacks in America are in the Big Ten. Thank you for the question, though. What are your thoughts on how C.J. Stroud and Will Levis have looked so far? NFL-type question. I would tell you that I don't watch the NFL. Sundays are my days off. I try not to watch the NFL. I have no idea how they look. Did they get new haircuts? Have they been working out? I have no clue. What do they wear on their way to the game? No clue what they look like. Thanks for asking, though. Thoughts on JMU's sack leader injury? I know it's not the MAC or the Big Ten, but it's current news today. I made a video on it. So shout out to Jalen. Unfortunately, he got hurt. This is one of the best players, Jalen Green, one of the best defenders in the country. The best defensive player in the Sun Belt. I talked about him for the last 2 weeks now. And then he goes and he has a non-contact knee injury. Sounds like a torn MCL type of thing or patella tendon, something in that range. And it's unfortunately for him, he needed surgery, so his season's over. 15.5 sacks. He was going to break Elvis Dumerville's FBS record of 20 sacks. He really was. It sucks, man. I never heard of Redskins before. It must be before my time. Shout out to Willie Bobo. That's hilarious. Buffalo versus Ohio. Kenny Cash. Become an MVP. Talked about it on Patreon. Pay your $25. I break down every single game with enough information to allow you to bet and win all your money back. Seth says, shout out to Florida. Sports betting is now legal again. Yeah, Florida, Hard Rock Cafe, Hard Rock Sports Betting Online went live. I got a bunch of DMs about it. People saying, Rico, I'm in Florida. We're live. I need to join your MVP. All the DMs equated to about 4 dudes signing up. We'll see what happens with the state of Florida if they want to get in on it. Any thoughts on Khalil Kelly, quarterback for Ball State? Kyle O'Donnell. Khalil Kelly can't throw the football. He's a dual-threat quarterback. He's now starting for Ball State. It's so weird. Lane Hatcher, former starting quarterback for Arkansas State. So Lane Hatcher was the starting quarterback at Arkansas State, transferred to Texas State for 1 season. He did okay there. He played there last year, and then he transfers up to Ball State. And for some reason, he's not the starting quarterback anymore, and they want to go with Khalil Kelly. Now, Kelly gives them a chance running the ball. He's a good dual-threat quarterback, but my God, does he suck when throwing. He can't throw at all. That's how I feel about him. They do a lot of design runs for him. He had 90 yards rushing last week, 20 carries, so it's one of those things where they're utilizing his ability to run, but my goodness, he cannot pass. And I imagine if they lose and they struggle, they got to go back to Lane Hatcher. At least he can throw the ball. Just saying. Jason Parkson says, afternoon top football as well. Thank you so much. Any leans or any potential props you throwing out there for these games today that you're able to save for non-members? If not, no worries. Yeah, Kyle O'Donnell, I put out a free ladder on the Patreon today. If you want a free plus 100 bet, it's on Patreon. Go watch the video. It's free. It's there. Just go to Patreon and search Rico Knows. If you don't have the Patreon app, get the Patreon app. Search Rico Knows. I put out a free video today for the games tonight. So there's that. The rest, though, I went in depth on each game and provided about 9 parlays and props and leans to the MVPs. But if you only want one, you get one for free. The other 9 are there. I don't understand why people don't want to win over $25. It's $25 and you go win it all back the first game, first day, and then you're good for the whole month. It's a whole damn month. You're good. That's 4 weeks of football. It's crazy that people won't pay. Obviously, people are, but I'm just saying. Awesome Aramis says, what do you think of Martavius Bryant trying out for the Cowboys after getting reinstated? I don't. Awesome Aramis. I don't watch the NFL all that much. I just let the chips fall where they may. I try to watch the NFL in the offseason. It's when I can catch up on the NFL games. So the offseason, I have a lot of downtime, and I can start watching NFL again. You can watch all NFL games on replay. So it's much better for me. I hate commercials. I can't support them when they're trying to get ratings. I just can't do it. So I'm not a big fan. As far as Martavius Bryant goes, good luck. Hope you make the team. I don't know. Hope you get a job. Do you think Allen and Singleton at Penn State got overhyped preseason, Or is there something holding them back this season? They are solid, but not quite living up to the billing so far. Well, Tyler McNamee, the billing is you think you have 2 NFL caliber running backs and you don't. The billing is you think you have 2 1,000-yard rushers and you don't. That's what people have a hard time grasping. It's like they go and identify their players and they think they're all the best. I'm telling you, man, there are fanatics of Power 5 teams that can name the running backs all the way down to the 4th, 5th best running back on the team, and they think they're all getting drafted. It's a terrible problem. Like, go to Georgia and you can name all the running backs. I'm like, yeah, but the starter just got drafted in the 7th round. The starter was the 18th running back drafted. So how good are your running backs if the starter was the 7th round draft pick? The rest of those guys aren't professionals right now. The rest of those guys aren't on the same level. So when you look at Penn State, you start asking yourself, how good are these guys? Well, let's talk about their backups who left. Where are they? Go back and look at the transfer running backs for Penn State who left. Are they starting anywhere? No. How good were these guys? If you go and sign Potts out of Michigan because you felt like these guys might not be ready. It's just one of those things, man. You get overhyped in the preseason. You had a good freshman year. I've seen many college football players have a good freshman year, and we don't hear from them ever again. Now, these guys are playing. They're fine. But you can't carry the load when your quarterback sucks. When your quarterback's average is 6.6, you guys see it right here on the screen, 6.6. That's not good, guys. Not in comparison to some of these other quarterbacks. You're comparable to these guys down here, the ones who aren't throwing, the teams that can't throw down the field. 6.6 ain't it. We're in the Big Ten. You want to go all conferences and start looking at averages and show where 6.6 is? It doesn't hit the damn radar. Who's the top quarterback with a 6.6 average? First one you see, Cade Klubnik. Cade Klubnik. Your dude ain't in the top 50. You can stack the box and stop the run. There's no threat for passing. You don't have a top 50 quarterback. You don't. Take any one of these dudes over that dude. I'm serious. Sorry, got to get back to the chat. Nebraska literally has a kid playing quarterback that played tight end against Minnesota the first game. I'll suffer the rest of the year and hopefully a bowl game, but transfer portal, here we come. Yeah, Kobe, everybody's going to address their needs in the transfer portal. That's what they do. No fear. Unless you're Rutgers. Rutgers knew they had shitty quarterback play and didn't get a quarterback in the portal. I'll never understand it. Or you can be Auburn and go get another shitty quarterback in the portal. You don't have good ones, you say, you know what, we're going to go get worse ones. That's what Auburn did. Are you surprised Cephas is not shown out for Penn State, or is the quarterback holding him back? Can't remember where you had him on the extra rankings. Hey, Tyler McNamee, you know where I had him? Nowhere, because I knew Cephas wasn't him. People kept gassing up Cephas like he's some great wide receiver. He's leaving Kent State. I go to Kent State, I go watch the tape, and I'm like, wait, this Tez Walker kid on tape, this Tez Walker kid go to North Carolina? He looks great. This Cephas kid doesn't look too good. I never ranked him once. I didn't give a shit he's going to Penn State. Everybody goes, well, Rico, we got his receiver. He just transferred to Penn State. He's going to be great. And I'm like, no, he's not. I watched the tape. That guy's not worth talking about. You won't find him anywhere on my rankings. Not even a mention. Not even an honorable mention. I looked at his tape and thought, that kid can't start. Who is gassing this shit up? He can't start. And here I am. I've never been impressed with Cephas, not a day in my life. Card has 8 interceptions, though. Caden, you throw interceptions when you're trailing. You throw interceptions when your offensive line can't block. If you say Card has 8 interceptions, go watch him play. Go watch him play and find out, are his receivers running the wrong routes? Are his linemen blocking for him? They're not. You guys ask me who's the best quarterback, not the best offense. You ask me the best quarterback. If I had tryouts tomorrow with no shirts on and didn't know who the hell we were trying out and just said, let's start seeing who can zip this ball, who can drop and read a defense, who can play, you'd be really surprised who you're picking. I'm telling you, the most athletic, NFL caliber, translating talent, all this trait shit, everything that I see in the Big Ten, which is terrible quarterback play. I've been clear. I still think Hudson Card's better than all them other dudes. From what I see on tape, his team sucks. They're one of the worst, but he's good. The advanced numbers say McCarthy has taken a big step this season. Does your eye to no? Not at all. Not at all. I don't give a shit about advanced numbers. I see a kid who is constantly throwing against single coverage. He has better receivers than the DBs. He has the better team 99.9% of the time he steps on the field. I don't see anything impressive about what McCarthy's doing. He's just surrounded by greatness. And you're going to win. He's not messing up. But when you see a production, shoot up like this, don't get too excited. I think you can plug and play anybody at that position for Michigan. I think Michigan, if they didn't have McCarthy, they would still be undefeated. It doesn't make a difference. He's not that difference maker you're looking for. Thanks, brother. No problem. Who do you like tonight? Channing Reed. I like 3 teams. Not really. And I already shared all of my information with the MVPs. Go to Patreon, become an MVP. You'll know who I like. You'll know what I would bet on. You know how I feel about the spreads. You know how I feel about all the props. You know how I envision these games going. And we tend to be right. Weekday games, I don't miss. I don't know what my percentage is on weekday games, but I want to tell you I'm 17-1 in the last 2 weeks on weekday games. 17-1. I shit you not. I went 9-0 last week, and then the week before that, I think I was 8-1. Somebody can fact check me. MVPs, no. We're not making this shit up. I'm in here doing this show in front of MVPs everywhere. No, nobody's lying. Yeah. Where is Patreon? Patreon is an app. Go get the app or go to the website. Patreon. You spelled it wrong, by the way. Thanks, brother. Who do you like tonight? There you go. How does LSU fix their defensive problems? Daily Locks. You have already talked to me about LSU. I stopped reading your whole comment at that point. LSU, that is a Thursday question. I don't talk about SEC until Thursdays. Today is Big Ten and the MAC only. Have you enjoyed breaking down player props more than lines? Have you started doing more for the MVPs this season? Thanks, your wheelhouse, given the portal rankings. Seems like that's your wheelhouse, given the portal rankings. Tyler McNamee. There's something inherently fun about trying to guess how players are going to perform against their opposition. Lines is very linear and very absolute, whereas you can say what players are going to do, and you can have a much better and more refined understanding of the player's performance. And I think it takes a different level of expertise. I think if I was to lean towards NFL props, I would give NFL props over the spread. I feel more comfortable with it, just to be fair. But in the world of college football, it feels pretty good. It feels pretty good to help guys hit on their bets, help them parlay maybe the line or the spread or the over and the under with a certain player's performance. When I make a video and I tell them, hey, guys, go with anytime touchdown here. When you guys go and view the watch party with me on YouTube or Discord, we lose our mind. You guys got to watch it and see me lose my mind when we hit. When anytime touchdown hits, I go crazy. I look at Kim and say, I called it, baby. And I just start just moving around. I dance in the living room, bro. And I can dance. I'm cutting a rug. It's really exciting. It makes me happy. It also enables me to celebrate certain aspects of a loss, right? It feels like fantasy football, where even if we lost the game, I can still cheer for certain things. We can still root. Like, we lost the game, but we still need these 60 yards, that kind of deal. So I really enjoy it. I enjoy breaking it down. Thank you, yes. And I still think that portal rankings and breaking down the transfer portal is my bag. I looked at the transfer portal today, and I just know everybody in there and all the players, so it makes a lot of sense to me. It feels right. It'll be a daunting task this offseason to provide everybody with all the updates and keep everybody informed. But what I want is for people to understand that I'm a source when it comes to the transfer portal, and I want people to look forward to my videos in that regard. So that's pretty awesome. I know the MVPs look forward to my Patreon videos. I know they look forward to my post on the Discord server, 100%. I know that, so it feels good. I love our community. It's like a family. Well, I know all the same. Like, as long as I know you're an MVP and you come to the comments and you write, I know who you are. I remember a lot of names, right? I know 15,000 college football players. I think I can remember, 1,000 MVPs, as long as you show up and write. Thoughts on C.J. Stroud's first half of the NFL season after you called him a bum? Dev G, I haven't watched his first half of the NFL season, so I don't have any thoughts on it. But thank you for being here. Kobe says, swung and missed with Sims. Great kid, but he'll transfer out from Nebraska. Yeah, he needs to go somewhere. Go to an HBCU, go to FCS, go somewhere where you can play. But I don't think he's a Power 5 caliber player at this point. He has great athleticism, but I don't know what he's doing personally. Channing Reed says, where is Patreon? Go to the App Store. Go anywhere you want. All you got to do is go in here and just type Patreon. There it is. Mine is RicoKnows, but you can just go to Patreon. I get rid of this first part and just go Patreon like that, patreon.com. Oh, it keeps coming up, RicoKnows. I don't want it to do that. Let me get that off. But this is it right here. Patreon, if you want to see everything, it's Patreon. Patreon. There you go. And these are the videos I have for the MVPs. I delete some. I put them away so it's easier to sort through what we're looking for. So this morning were the 3 Mac videos and then the free ladder right there. So if you want a free ladder play, here it is. If you want the Mac videos, here they are. We have different collections you can go to see all the videos, like playlists, and you guys can enjoy them. Free ladder plays are there, and then week 11. So this is, you see this here, 21-minute long video. I break down all the week 11 games that I'm providing locks and leans to. You sit down, you watch it like a podcast, take your notes, and you'll be ready for the week. And then we do a live stream on Saturday morning with all the MVPs, and everything goes good from there. Just share all the information with them. Go to Patreon, bro. That's all I can tell you. Go to Patreon. You can join as a free member or a paid member. Free members can't see these videos. You can see the ladders, but you can't see any of these. If you pay your $25 a month, you'll know how I feel about this game. You'll go in, make your bets, and win all your money back, and you'll be straight. We got people who are MVPs for life. We are selling an annual membership in about 3 months, so everybody will be straight there, but that's what we do. Back to it. Thoughts on JMU. JMU, fortunately for you guys, oh, my bad, I'm new to all this. Just subscribed today. Shout out to Daily Locks. Didn't know SEC was on Thursday. Yeah, so Mondays, ACC, we're moving across the country, if you will. If you're looking at a map and you're staring at the United States, think of it as Monday. We start on the East Coast, and we go ACC to and then I combine one group of 5 conference. So I do Conference USA, and then I do independents like Notre Dame, Army, UConn, UMass. I do all those on Monday. Tuesday, today, Big 10 and the MAC. Wednesday, Big 12 and the American Conference. Thursday, I go back to the SEC. This time we go south. SEC and the Sun Belt. And then Friday is Pac-12 and Mountain West. So every single day is a different conference, different theme. That way we cover all 133 teams. I break down the games to start every show, tell you who I think is going to win in their matchups this week, and then you can ask me questions, and I do a Q&A just like this for the rest of the show. Cap the show at 2 hours. At 2 hours, we call the show. So we got 1 hour left. If the comments and questions keep coming, the show keeps going. The minute we run out of comments, questions, the show's over. So that's how that goes. Thoughts on JMU. Once again, JMU, they do not play in the MAC, so I won't be talking about them. If you want me to talk about JMU, you got to show up on their conference day, and I will talk about JMU. How, if any chance, can Penn State hang with Michigan and maybe pull off the upset this weekend? Daily Locks, if they want to win against Michigan, they're going to have to literally throw the ball. They're going to have to be successful throwing the ball. That's how I feel about it. They're going to have to be successful throwing the ball and shut down Michigan's rushing attack. That's it. Just go out there and win. Win the fight in the trenches and take advantage of mismatches in the secondary. Throw the ball downfield. Good luck. If Penn State wins this game, Michigan's going to score less than 20 points. They're not winning a shootout. They got to somehow win a slugfest. They're not winning a shootout. Penn State's not built for that. Might be too early to tell, but it seems like this quarterback transfer class for 2024 could be relatively weak. Any initial thoughts? Oh, yeah, we have no clue, Tyler McNamee. So first off, I do have some initial thoughts on certain quarterbacks transferring, but we have no clue who's transferring. You think it's weak, but But what if all the 5-star freshmen start transferring? What if they're not happy with where they're at and how they're being utilized? And now you have Rashada and Moore and Brady Cook goes in transfers. Like, you could have a ton of people jump in the portal and transfer. You have no clue. Like, that's Washington's going to need a new quarterback. There's teams out there playing. Florida State needs a new quarterback. Nah, we have no clue who's going to be in the portal. I don't like to guess at that kind of thing. I report what happens. I don't try to guess what's going to happen. There's no benefit in that. So it is too early to tell. I don't think it's going to be a weak class of any position group. As the seasons go on, it's going to be stronger in each position group because all conference players are transferring. Starters for multiple years are transferring. Anybody disgruntled, gone, transferring. Anybody sitting the bench, redshirting, gone, transferring. So it's going to be loaded. Don't get it twisted. Every single position group will be loaded, and you will be shocked to see the transfers. You will be shocked to see who decides they need to roll out and go to another school and get a different opportunity, maybe pursue a new offensive scheme or a new coach. That can happen as well. I'm going to leave and go play for a new coach that just got hired over here. It's going to happen. Transfers are everywhere, man. It's going to be sweet. I'm excited for it. Trust. All right, I'm going to move back over to Discord. If we run out of comments and questions over here, I'll move back to YouTube, and then the show's over. Thank you guys for being here. What's going on, Compa Rico? Let's get it. What up, Jet? Thank you very much. Let's get it, whatever it is. Nando says, Rico, how does LSU assess the defensive problems? Oh, Nando, you put it in both spots. I don't answer LSU. That's, or maybe are you Daily Locks? You got to be Daily Locks. You want to fire Matt House. True freshman cornerbacks get some experience? Yeah. Unfortunately, I'll be talking about the SEC on Thursday, so you can ask me that question on Thursday. Isaac says, how the hell is Illinois a touchdown favorite this week with Indiana coming to Champaign? Sometimes you got to ask, man. Sometimes we got to figure things out. I don't get it. Illinois has a good rushing attack right now with Fagan, their number one running back, big boy, but I don't get it. I kind of like Rutgers this week over Iowa. You're not alone. A lot of people like Rutgers. I just don't know how they're going to score. I don't know how Rutgers scores against Iowa, but everybody wants to cheer for Rutgers. We love what Greg Schiano's doing right now. They look like a good team. You know, Rutgers, everybody always says, Rutgers would be one of the best teams in the country if they had a quarterback. Yeah, no shit. They don't. That's how it goes. Card has also already played the best Big Ten teams, so that doesn't help his numbers. Not at all. It really doesn't. But his team being bad also doesn't help it. Maryland versus Nebraska, the poo-poo Big Ten game of the week. I don't think so. You know what I think is the worst Big Ten game of the week? Michigan State and Ohio State. Because I think Ohio State's going to get a lot of hype for blowing out Michigan State. But we know Michigan State's not good. And I don't think there should be any hype for that game. We should be severely disappointed if Ohio State doesn't win by 50. That's how I feel. Here we got one. It says, I love you, Rico. I get I love you, Rico, all the time. I'll take it. I appreciate you guys for loving me. I love you guys back, especially if you're an MVP. I see green text. I'm excited for it, so thank you very much. Any value in Iowa to win the Big Ten, they are 2,400, plus 2,400 right now, and would probably be plus 600 if they get to the championship game. Maybe place it now at 2,400. And if they make the game, you can cash out and make some profit. Nando, I'm not a gambler. I have no idea about value and cashing out or anything of that nature. But if you asked me, sitting here today, if there's value in that and making that move like that, then do it. Congratulations. Good luck. But I don't think Iowa can win the championship, so I wouldn't bet on them. But if there's a place where you can place a bet on them, and if they get there, you can cash out, like deal or no deal type deal, then congratulations for working the system. But I'm not built for that shit, man. I don't know how that works. I'm not a gambler. Didn't mean to put so many comments in a row. Just went through the Big Ten slate myself. Appreciate what you do, Rico. Doesn't bother me at all, Isaac. If I don't have comments, the show's over. So I appreciate you for having them. Thanks for going through the slate yourself. I'll go back to YouTube and call it a day. Daily Locks, Penn State will win. There he goes. Caden Van Tilburg says Penn State will win. Congratulations. How, if any chance, can Penn State? Okay, we already asked that one. Last question. Might be too early. Already did that. Hey, guys, thanks for being here. I'm going to enjoy my dinner. I'll see you guys. First game starts at 7 tonight. So I will see you guys at 7 at the watch party. That gives me about an hour. I'll see everybody there. You can watch it on Discord. I will be having the chat popped out. We do this with the chat here. So we bring it into the screen like this. This is what it looks like on a live stream. And then we pull out the YouTube text over it. If anybody's wondering what it looks like when we do our live parties, it looks like this. We take this, drag it over. We go here, and then we just do the cast, the Steam cast, what the hell's going on? We do this right here like this for the night. Actually, we hit score so we can see all three at once. There it is. And then I just talk to you guys and watch the games with me all night. And we hang out. Shout out to YouTube. I'll be on there. You guys will be able to see me. And I'll have this all off the screen so you guys actually see me in the screen. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Shout out to all the newest MVPs. We're sitting at over 700 now. That's where we wanted to be, but we're trying to get back up to 1,500. We're missing 800 people. We got to find them. They got to come over to Patreon. Get out of their comfort zone. Join the Discord server. Learn what MVPs are and become one themselves. You guys, pass it out. Pass it around. Oh, one more thing if you're still watching. I am on Twitter. I want to show you guys. My name is RicoKnows. RicoKnows TikTok. Right here. You'll see. You guys know my emblem. But I'm on Twitter. I don't have many followers. I got 151. I just started. So we just started branding. We'll be on Twitter. I'm putting out information, funny things to say. I'm telling you guys how I feel about certain games. You guys asked me about tonight. Rico, can you give us a play? Look at that. I posted a play on Twitter today with the screenshot from FanDuel. I tell you guys what I'm thinking. I post stuff all over the place. You just got to believe in Rico Knows and what I'm doing, brother. Pass it around. Make sure more people learn about the Twitter. It's just me talking and thinking out loud. I'm not a huge Twitter guy. I don't have it on my phone or anything, but I'll use it when I'm sitting at the desktop and I'm not in the middle of working on something. I'm always creating videos. But thank you guys for your time. Thank you for supporting the channel. And remember, your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Peace, y'all.
Move I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you. I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
I do this for the kids who sit a bit outside the mix, who maybe cope through humor just to fit in for a bit, who never let the world know when depression's setting in. To all of those who know you, that impression don't exist, and it ain't counterfeit, it's just a way to counter it. I'm living things I dreamed about, I still encounter it. It ain't something that a cigarette or alcohol can fix, but all because of it, I flipped it quick, went on to write some hits. This a success, off another breath. This the first step in searching to be nothing less than be the best in what you do to prove their strength in being you. Learn so much in chasing dreams that I never would in school. Depends on where your passion lie, just know passion never lie. Life presents distractions, but your actions have to fortify the things that you believe in. Have to scream it like a battle cry and leave the ones who didn't looking stupid while they're asking why. Couldn't lie, I really do this for the ones I love. Those who treat the music as a vice and lyrics like a drug. Those who need advice on how to lift their spirit high enough to break out of the box they make of lives they know aren't good enough. Just because it's how it is don't mean it's how it has to be. This is what the uninspired testifiers fail to see. Jealousy results from being that which others fail to be, and if it means you're not with me, that honestly sounds fair to me.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
Do this for my mother, she'll be working for the summer. Do this for my father, cause these days I often wonder what my life would have been like if I was not adopted. To grow up in a home where I was treated like a problem. I don't know, it's just a guess. Your guess probably good as mine. Lucky that I grew up in a home that wanted me to shine. Lucky that I grew up around some mountains we were taught to climb. Without that inspiration, I don't think that this would be my life. Do this for my friends who've scattered all across the country now. I'm out in Sweden walking back through life so I can write it down. Make a living off the sound, so crazy to say out loud. I'm the biggest thing since Travis Rice to come up out the town. Sorry, gotta stunt a little. Used to have my dreams belittled, but it's all a part of it. I know people's minds are fickle, lines between reality and dreams I blur like faded nights. Come up been so good for me, I wish that I could make it twice.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a thing. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.